Hi, hello, it's Pip here from queenpipcards.com. Welcome, thank you for joining me today. Today I am going to be talking all about the up-and-coming Sailing Home stamp set and the new smooth sailing dies, which between them and the papers and all the other bits and pieces form part of the Sail Away suite, which is coming out in the new catalogue, which sadly I can't show you because we're not allowed to open the new catalogue on screen until after the 4th of June when it goes live, but trust me, it's beautiful. And this set in particular is just great for all kinds of different card types, for men's cards, boys cards, women's cards, you name it, you can make loads of different cards out of this. So I am going to show you just one or two cards today. It's going to be quite a quick video, but I want to take you through the whole suite so that you get to see what you get. Okay, so this is the Sailing Home stamp set. As you can see, it's a cling stamp set. This means that you put the stickers on the back and then they cling to your stamping blocks, and that means it's easy to see where you're stamping, which is great. Has some fabulous sayings in it. I love this. You are my true north. That's really nice. So you could make that for your wedding anniversary card, or your Valentine's Day card, or a birthday card for your husband or loved one. You've got let hope be your anchor through the storms of life, which is nice, isn't it? I really love that, because if you don't have hope, then you haven't really got much. So hope is very important, and I do believe that if you hope things, generally your life is better and you go towards a happier way of living. Set sail in the direction of your dreams. Again, fantastic. Great for what I'm going to use this today to show you, which is a boy's graduation card. But fantastic for somebody who is retiring, starting a new job, graduating from college, from school, just having a change of direction, or just something that you want to, give somebody some encouragement to do. And then there's the thanks, and then there's congrats, and those two have got this lovely script, and it's, they're just pretty font, pretty script, and it just looks great. So two very useful, basics. A love sentiment, you are my true north, and then two which I call inspirational and really kind of hopeful sayings. So that's good. And then of course there's lots of different images related to sailing. So you've got the knot rope here. I've no idea what knot that is, but I'm sure my sailing friends will tell me. Two boats, two sailing ships. Well, they're not sailing ships, I guess they're little sailing boats or yachts. One going one way and one going the other, which is always handy to have, variety in direction. A compass, some really great birds, an anchor, and then this fantastic lighthouse. And the thing I like about this lighthouse is I love the other lighthouse we've got in... So I love the other lighthouse that we have in High Tide, which is this stamp set. Which is in the current catalogue and is carrying forward. So this is a nice lighthouse which you can do in two different colours, and you can put the beam of light, etc. And this is a lovely lighthouse. This is in photopolymer. It's a two-step stamp set, and you do need to have a little bit of time to line those up, but it's much more of a photographic black and white print of a stamp. I'm not really saying that well, but it doesn't really have a lot of detail. It's quite it's got a little bit of detail around the top, but then when you put the colours on, sometimes that detail gets a little lost. But it's just a block lighthouse, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Whereas this lighthouse here, you have lots more detail at the top, and then you have all this beautiful brickwork. So this, I guess the difference is that this is a modern lighthouse, this one, and this is a more old-fashioned lighthouse, more of a vintage lighthouse, or one that would have stood, several hundred years ago. So this is more of an old-fashioned lighthouse. So I like both of them. I'll keep both of them. I'll use both of them, but they serve different purposes in my head. Okay, so that's the stamp set. And then to go with the stamp set, we have the new Stamp Cut and Emboss dies. So hopefully you know by now Stampin' Up are doing their own dies now. So these are the Stampin' Cut and Emboss dies, and they come in this new packet, which opens like this. I didn't understand how this closed previously, but you have to sort of hook that in behind there, and then it just slides in. So you've got no nasty catches, which is good. They're also coming in standard sizes, but I can't quite remember what the standard sizes are in terms of these actual packets that they're doing. So here we go. These are the dies that come with this set. Obviously I've put this little magnetic sheet. You don't get the sheet when you buy the dies, but they're really easy to get. You can purchase these sheets from a craft shop or online. And this one you can see cuts out here the this is the lighthouse. Okay, cuts the lighthouse. 2 ships. Okay, then it cuts out the anchor, which we have here, and it cuts out, it has 2 sentiment pieces. So this one, which is a fantastic little stitched sort of banner shape, cuts out the thanks and the congrats beautifully. And then this one, this cuts out the hope your anchor, let hope be your anchor, and it cuts out this. You can either cut it this way, set sail in the direction of your dreams, or you can cut it out this way, which I quite like too. So you've got some options there. And it also cuts out this rope if you wanted to. So if you wanted to have that like as a background to your sentiment, you could have that on there. It cuts that out perfectly. On top of that, you also have some additional dies. So you have this piece here, and this cuts out a little rope piece in a knot, which is cute. We have some sea fronds, so this cuts out some grasses or seaweeds or, you know, anything like that, sea vegetation. This is great. We're going to be using this one today. This one cuts out a little ship's wheel, and then this cuts out a piece of rope. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's got some really good detail on that. Cuts out a lovely piece of rope. And then these 2 pieces we're going to be using today as well. These cut out the hands for your compass, so you can actually have compass hands. Okay. Alrighty, so that's that. So that's the new Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and you will notice some differences when we go through and cut some pieces out. You will notice a slight difference in the way that they cut. So we're going to do a bit of that, and then I'm going to get on with showing you the rest of the suite. Well, I'm going to show you the rest of the suite first, and then we'll get on with some cards. So this card I popped up on Monday, I think, Tuesday, Monday. Yeah, Monday, I think, on my Facebook and Instagram. So you can see that I've used the ship here like this, and then this is using the current Gala gingham, which I love, and then the birds in the background, and this is some of the polka dot tulle, I don't know, tulle, something like that, which is great. And then I made the sea here by stamping just colouring in with my ink pad the base of the lighthouse, turning it upside down and stamping that to make some sea for the boats to sail on. So there you go. So thanks to Amanda for that tip, Amanda Fowler for that tip, and Natalie for this lovely layout. I really like it. It's cool. Right, so that was what I did on Monday. Then yesterday you'll have seen this, which was our make and take from on stage, which we did back in April, which seems ages away since from then. But anyway, it's been a long time since we went to on stage. But this was the little note card that we made, and here's the little anchor embellishment that you get in a set of 2. So you see that? I don't know if you can see that. There we go. So that's the anchor, really cute. And this is the twine, the baker's twine that goes with it, which is Sahara Sand and Night of Navy. I left mine a little bit loose. In fact, quite a lot loose. So I need to tighten that up, I think. And then this is the little lighthouse. And then I've just done a bit of stamping behind. Now here, this isn't using the dies because we didn't have the dies on stage. This is using the Everyday Label Punch. But see, it fits. So if you don't have a cutting machine, die cutting machine, then, you know, feel free to get the stamp set anyway, because I cut the lighthouse out by hand. It was really quite easy. And then I just punched that out with the Everyday Label Punch. Okay, so that's that. Today, we're going to be working on this card, but in slightly different colours. I decided I wanted to change the colours up for today's video. So it's just a basic Night of Navy card, but you can see I've got the little hands here on here. Now I've actually put these on with brads, with one of our metallic brads, but if you try and move the little hands, they do tend to get a little bit bent. So I'm just going to pop them on and put a little rhinestone on today, because I think that's better really. But you can, obviously, you know, they can move, just don't move them by the skinny little arm. And then this one, this here, hopefully you can see that, is the gorgeous ship's wheel trinket that goes, actually we're not using the ship's wheel today, are we? We've got this one. Well, we might add it anyway. But this was the other trinket. So you get, in the pack of trinkets that goes with the suite, you get 10 anchors and 10 ship's wheels. Ship's wheels, yes. Try saying that fast. So that's what you get. So in the suite there is the papers, which I'm going to come to next. Aren't these gorgeous? Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So we have lighthouses. We have beautiful balmy blue stripes. Ships and more ships. Night of Navy, balmy blue and Sahara sand stripy. Oh, that looks weird on the camera. A nice piece of newspaper print. Fantastic in sort of sepia, Sahara sandy, crumb cakey kind of colours. I think actually it's also got a bit of soft suede in there, but this is great for a scrapbooker who's going to scrapbook something about going on ships or sailing or whatever. That would make a, I mean, that's just a page straight in itself, isn't it? Just zoom out a little bit because I've zoomed in so that you can, but these are full 12 by 12 sheets. Okay, so these are full sheets. And then this one is the compass all over the page, which is lovely. And then if we turn them over, you'll see that we have that knot again. Okay, so that knotted rope. And then we have navy and white stripes. And then this one's almost like a grey granite really. And then it's got sextants and compasses and gyroscopes and all kinds of things on there. I don't even know what that is, but anyway. Tools, instruments of the trade, we shall say. And then this one's Mossy Meadow with lovely pinstripey stripes, big fat stripes, little stripes. And then this one again, grey granite with black, and this is Under the Sea, all the kind of different seaweeds and stuff you can get. And then this one is another full-size sheet, which is a map. Lots of different bits of maps by the looks of it. They don't all connect up and make one big piece of the same puzzle, as it were. But that's lovely again for a scrapbook page or chopped up, as I have done here. I've used this piece as my backing piece to talk about, you know, setting sail and stuff like that. So those are the papers that you get. There we go. So those are the papers that you get, and then, as I said, you get the trinkets, you get the twine. So this lovely, you get a whole reel of the twine, which of course I don't have with me. You also get an embossing folder in the big suite, which is unfortunately not available on pre-order, so I haven't been able to get it, but this is the twine. So there's a new embossing folder coming out with waves. It's beautiful. So there's that, and then of course there's the stamps and the dies. Okay, so stamps, dies, paper, trinket, twine, embossing folder, all in for a suite. And in the new catalogue you can now order a suite completely straight as it is, without having to faff around with lots of different individual numbers. You can order them in separately as well if you want to, but you don't have to. Right, okay, so that's enough of me gassing on about that and all the lovely things you get. Now let's start making a card. This time I thought I would change it up a bit. I'm going to go Mossy Meadow and Night of Navy. So I'm using the same colours but round the other way. So I thought we would do a Mossy Meadow back. And you could also do it as a, you know, a, what's the word I'm looking for? A tent fold card, you know, opening this way if you wanted to. It would work that way too. But I like my, you know, I like my portrait standy uppy cards, you know that. So I'm going to go for this size. And then, what was I going to do with that? Oh, I think with that I was just going to tell you that if you wanted to, you could recreate this card when the gingham's gone with the stripes, and I think that would look nice. Anyway, I digress. I thought what I would do is use this time have a Night of Navy mat to go in there, and then I'm going to cut this down to be, actually I'm not sure now whether I want to do a Night of Navy mat at all, or whether I want to go straight with that. Yes, I might just do a Night of Navy with two sides. See here, I've got the two sides coming down. I quite like that actually, so I might just change that up a bit. So let me get my trimmer. So I'm going to cut this down to 9.5 wide. There we go, like that. 14.4. So it goes all the way down the length of that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so you can see now that this is going to go, it's just going to basically have a Night of Navy border around the edges. It's going to go like that and like that. And then I thought I like this Night of Navy, so I want to pull that in across the side here like this. So I'm using the same sort of layout but changing it up just a little bit. And then I thought we would do some ships, obviously, and then we've got the sentiment that we need to do. Now I have pre-cut a couple of things. I've done a few in different, I want it to be this one, so I did it this way, so I like that. And I've got some twine. I'm going to put some twine on, obviously. I like a bit of rope. There we go. But I actually have run out of those compasses, not compasses, ship's wheels. So I don't know if I want to put an anchor on or not. Possibly. We'll see about that. And then we need to stamp some boats. But I also wanted to show you these little pieces, how they've come stamped out and cut out. See how that beautiful stitching's there? That's gorgeous. Going to use those a lot. Okay, so let's now get going with some stamping. So we'll do the ship in soft suede. So this is soft suede, and we're just going to do that here. Okay, doesn't it stamp beautifully? Look at that. Such a cute little ship. Boat, Pip, boat. I don't know, when does a boat become a ship? I know there's an official reason, or official timing and stuff, but I can never remember it. And then we're going to, actually, do I want to do that in, I'm going to change my, no I don't. Yes I am. I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to do this compass in blue. There we go. And yeah, and then we're going to chop out a wheel and some hands in some soft suede. Okay, now this piece here, you didn't see a circle. Yeah, so sorry, this ink was Night of Navy, just in case you were wondering. So you didn't see a circle in the framelets or in the dies, and that's because this piece here cuts out with a, I believe, my 1.5 inch. It's either the 1.5 or it's the 2 inch, but I think it's the 1.5 inch. Yeah, circle punch. So you can literally just chop that out. There we go, and that's your compass done. So then we just need to do some die cutting, and we just need to do that for these. Okay, so I'm going to get my big shot. When you put your die on, can you see that? It's absolutely to the edge of the image. Okay, so you will get still a white line around it, but the metal is lined up against the edge of your image. So hopefully that makes sense. So it looks like your entire image is just encased. Okay, and then when you run that through, first of all, it cuts beautifully. There we go. Slightly less of a crackle, I believe. I think, personally. And then when you cut these out, okay, let's get all my sticky off. First of all, they pop out perfectly, and they still have that slight, you know, white edge around them, which I'm used to it now. I quite like it, but it was so much easier to line that up now that that's got that hasn't got that gap that you have to purposefully leave on it. Okay, so then let's talk about these thinlits. Not thinlits, what are these? Cut and emboss dies. I must get used to the new terminology. These are detailed dies, okay, because obviously they're going to cut out some detailed pieces. So let's pop those on there, and then pop my cutting plate on top. And these are just this is just a piece of soft suede. So soft suede cardstock, run it through once, turn them over, and you can already see they're just dropping out. See that? They've just dropped, literally dropped off. So this one will take a little bit more because obviously it's got some things stuck in, but these ones literally just pop out like that. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So that's cool. And then, so now with my little take your pick tool, swap my ends over, and they're introducing a new die brush end, so you'll actually be able to switch this out and put a die brush end in, but I'm not even sure we're going to need it, to be honest, because with these new ones you literally just do that and they're done, and there's nothing left in the die. I just think they're great. So I really like these new dies. They've taken all the things that we didn't like and got rid of them, so that's great. So pop these out. There we go. I think, oh no, that is a hole. And I'm not sure if you can see, but it's actually got lines embossed on it for the actual wheel itself, so it looks more like a wheel. So that's good. There we go. And now you can see me putting all this together. So hopefully now you can see that these handles now match handles, no, pointy things. These pointers match that, and then the little one would go and sit on top of that for the smaller hand. Like a clock, isn't it? But it's a compass. Or I guess you could just have this one on if you wanted to make it, you know, more blue and less brown. You could just pop this one on like that. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty good too, actually, just having that one on. Might just do that one for this. Okay, so just going to stick these down. So I'm going to pop some multi-purpose on here, and I liked the idea of having this with the ships on the piece of paper, you know, the newspaper print image behind, as if they were talking about a trip that they had been on or were about to go on, because as I say, I wanted this to be a graduation card for a boy. I've got my, I say a boy, a young man. I've got my nephew graduating, I think from uni, either this year or next year. Do you know, I'm hopeless. I think it might be this year. I don't know. And they all grow up so fast. So that goes on there. It must be next year. Must be next year. Can't be this year. Right, so that's that. And then I'm going to add my little compass piece. But you know, there's nothing like being prepared. That's what I say. And I know there's lots of people I know whose boys are graduating. I'm going to just cover up the Yankee yacht loses the cup, because I'm not sure that's what we want to talk about when we're talking about reaching for your dreams. So I'm just going to copy that, and that's the thing, you just cover it up with whatever you want to. So in this case, a bit of paper, which needs to just shift over a little bit. Come on, there we go. Bit of my designer series paper there just to cover that up. That's great. Then I think I might tie this round here. Let's do this, because I'm not sure, they don't want a bow, do they? They're boys, they're not going to want a bow. No, not going to want a bow being a boy. So we'll just tie that in a double knot. If I knew what that other knot was, I'd tie it in that knot, but I've not got a clue. And probably that would be better to actually tie it in a proper sailor's knot, but I don't know what that is. So that can go on there like that. Lovely. Then this is going to slot over the top here. So it's going to stick a bit up over the top of the banner piece here, but that's fine. I want to put this compass down here. We can put this wheel. Actually, maybe we should put the wheel down there and the compass up there. That might work better. I like that. There we go. And then I'm not sure about the anchor. Should we tie the anchor on down there? Possibly. Yeah, that might look okay. So I'm just going to glue dot that anchor just sort of underneath here as if it's attached to that, even though it isn't. I don't want to actually attach it to that because it's going to make it bulky. So we'll just glue dot this down. And these are just great because they really stick your pieces well. Make sure it's on. Yep. So it's going to glue dot that there, like that. Excellent. Okay. Then we're going to pop this up. I'm going to just do a couple of dimensionals in the centre to start off with until I can work out where I want my other pieces to go. So that's a good trick to do. So if you know that you're going to want it to be attached under here, and you know that you're going to want it to be attached in the centre there, so we can do those, but don't do the top yet. We can always add one on afterwards. Pop that there, like so. Okay, now this is slightly trickier because it hasn't got a lot to actually stick it to, so that's why I want to attach it really just to that piece there. But if you have a tiny dimensional, one of our mini dimensionals, I'm not sure if it fits in that slot, just about. You might see a little bit behind, but probably not enough to worry too much about. And if you were really worried about it, you could always trim those off beforehand. So we're just going to take that piece off there, put a little bit of glue up here. There we go. And then attach that to that. There we go. So that's on. Compass I want to put down flat but slightly hanging over the edge. So we'll just glue that in the centre. Find north. That's always a good thing. East, west, so that must be north. So kind of there-ish. Yep. And then I'm going to attach this again, just a little tiny bit of multi-purpose glue down its ends. And we'll pop that one pointing over there in that direction. Okay, because that's where the boat's going to go. Again, I'm going to put the boat behind, so it's all part of the story, setting sail in the direction of your dreams. And then we're going to stick the whole thing down. Stick this down, make sure you've got glue on both sides of it because you've got that twine, so it will make a little bit of a bump because it's quite thick twine, but don't worry about that. If you wanted to, you could use dimensionals along the whole back of the thing, but I think that looks alright as it is. There we go. So yeah, so a different one, different from what I did before, but the same, sort of. Let's bring that one in so you can see the difference. So, sort of the same thing. I might chop these off a little bit. There we go. Let's just chop these off a smidge. So you've got the compass, the ship. I've added the wheel this time and the anchor just to go whole hog, you know, because it's for a special person. They've just graduated. They deserve a little bit of bling and a little bit of extra bling. And if you wanted to, rather than this metallic brad here, you could just put a rhinestone, that's the word I'm thinking, in there. I've also found that these basic sequins that we've got, these basic sequins actually work quite well with some of these. So if you wanted to just add a bit of bling, you could. But I quite like it as it is, especially since, as I say, it's going to go for a boy for a graduation. So hopefully you've enjoyed that, and you've enjoyed all my discussions about the new Sail Away suite. I think it's lovely, I really do, and I can see myself making loads of cards with this. I haven't even started really on the colouring, the painting of the ships, because you can paint those as well, and the lighthouse, and just, I mean, watercolouring. Well, endless ideas, I think you'll agree. So thanks ever so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed that. Come back again soon for my next video, and we go live next week. Yippee! So from next week I can give you a catalogue tour, and I can show you my favourite bits, and yeah, generally we can talk about lots of stuff, and I'll be back with some more cards for you next week. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Thanks ever so much for watching. Take care. See you again soon. Bye bye.